Welcome to my poster presentation on Beyond the Recording, Lessons Learned from Redesigning Library Instruction. My name is Victoria Ho, and I am the Science Liaison Librarian at the University of Toronto Mississauga campus. This poster is a reflective case study of a teaching session for a first-year biology course at UTM. In September 2025, this course had 3 sections with a total of 1,090 students. I first taught this course back in September of 2024, when the course had 1,000 students with only 2 sections. It was a one-shot session and was taught in person. Due to the increase in student enrollment in 2025 and the need to manage instructional workload, the professor requested that I change my library session into a recorded session. She suggested that I record my session using the same content as the previous year and record it using Zoom. After I received her request, I knew that I didn't want to record my presentation using Zoom or to even record the same content as the in-person one-shot session. I wanted to do something different that would engage students online while ensuring they would develop necessary information literacy skills. I wanted to use effective e-learning strategies to design the online module and to provide students with flexible learning opportunities. For example, allowing students to revisit certain parts of the online module to review content. I knew that to do this successfully, I needed to collaborate with the course professor to ensure that the asynchronous module would support student success. This poster will focus on the key lessons learned from my successes, challenges, and some practical tips for other librarians in similar situations. I will aim to answer the following questions. What instructional changes occur when an in-person session becomes asynchronous? Can student engagement be maintained or improved? What challenges and surprises emerge from student and faculty responses? What would I do differently to better support online learners next time? Adapting instruction for asynchronous delivery. When I first taught the session in person, it was for 50 minutes and I divided up my content into sections in my slides. These sections included learning to navigate the library website, learning how to create a search strategy, how to identify if an article is primary peer review source, and learning how to cite in nature style. For the asynchronous session, I was able to reuse the same content in my slides, but I wanted to chunk them and scaffold the content so that students could learn one concept at a time so that it's easy for students to retain the information. I also wanted to create multiple short 3 to 4 minute videos rather than a long video to provide students with flexible learning opportunities that would allow students to revisit specific content later as they work on their assignments. For the short videos, I was able to create multiple ones that focus on a variety of topics, such as Boolean, searching in databases, from topic to keywords, primary versus secondary articles, peer review articles, library help, and citing references using zbib.org. You can see that I was able to create 7 shorter videos using the same content as my in-person sessions. I was able to make a few edits to my original slides and wrote a script for each video. The course professor suggested I record my session in Zoom, which would have been the quick and easy route. But I wanted to spend time making these videos into good quality videos so that I could share them with other students outside of first year biology who may need a refresher, especially for my student research consultations. So I decided to spend the time learning to use voice recording software such as Audacity and, and editing software such as Camtasia. I had previous experience using these tools, but since it was many years ago, I needed a quick refresher. I watched a few YouTube videos to learn the basics and then started to record on my own. It did take a little extra time to learn these tools again, but once I got the hang of it, editing the videos were very easy. After the completion of all of the videos, I was able to deposit the video in a U of Toronto video repository called My Media. From there, I shared the link to the videos, and the professor embedded it into the course learning management system. My Media is great, as it also helped me keep track of viewing stats throughout the year. I can say that there was definitely a viewing stat increase during the weekend that the first assignment was due. Keeping students engaged online. I absolutely think that student engagement can be improved when creating asynchronous online modules. The key to this is to ensure that the videos are kept short, so 3 to 4 minutes is ideal. Otherwise, it will be very overwhelming for students and they will start to lose attention. Chunking the content is another great way to ensure students are engaged, as this method allows students to focus on learning one concept at a time. Once they understand the first concept, for example, Boolean, they can move on to the next one. Students can learn at their own pace, taking breaks when the content feels overwhelming and returning when they are ready. This approach helps maintain their engagement and allows them to resume learning with sustained focus. The best way to ensure students are engaged is to make sure that the content is aligned with their assignments. I noticed that students were viewing the videos more often around the time their assignments were due. This was because they saw that there was something in the video that could help them with their assignment, so they felt the need to watch it. Challenges, surprises, and key insights. At first, the faculty request was to create a simple recording using the same slide deck I had used in my in-person session the previous year. They did not request a redesign of the session, but it was something I chose to do to ensure the content was high quality and conducive to online learning. The instructor was very receptive to a more intentional design approach for the asynchronous module and recognized its potential to support student success in the course. It was difficult to determine how students interacted with the modules as there was no real-time feedback and fewer opportunities for student questions. Students may engage more independently than expected, particularly at points of need when assignments are due. There was also some pressure on myself to make the videos both concise and meaningful. At times, it was difficult to decide what to keep and what to remove. Fortunately, I did not have to eliminate much content. Instead, I briefly mentioned certain concepts in my script when there was not enough time to explain them fully. It was also challenging to adapt the instruction for a class of over 1,000 students, as there was little opportunity for personalization or real-time questions to gauge students' prior knowledge. However, aligning the videos with the three course assignments helped maintain relevance and connection to the course. Students were also very willing to book research consultations with me to discuss their assignments. Reflections and recommendations for future practice. So, thinking about what I would do differently next time, there are a few things I'd change. I would incorporate more active learning by using a tool like H5P to embed short quizzes or reflection questions directly into the videos so students can interact with the content as they go. I also try to gather more immediate student feedback. So, for example, by adding a quick survey at the end of the module to better understand their experience. And finally, I would work more closely with the instructor to strengthen how the module is integrated into the course, especially by timing specific videos to align with key assignments. Thank you so much for attending my poster presentation. Please leave me questions or comments and I'll respond as soon as I can. You can also email me directly if you have questions. My contact information is below. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the posters.